Good evening, everyone, and I hope you're having a lovely start to your week. Welcome to this online stream of Dune Awakening. Today, we're going to be grinding some Cutteray, and there is a reason why, because there's a patch that's due out on the 10th, and effectively that patch means that these Cutterays will become very rare, like extremely rare. And to be fair, I had a little go of grinding these yesterday just to see like whether or not they drop, and I did one round of like 4 different places where this Cutteray will drop, and it didn't drop. It didn't drop once. Hence why I'm calling this a grind, because I've got a feeling we're gonna have to hit these several times, all of them, and if we're lucky, we might get one tonight. If not, we'll continue. But yeah, effectively I want to try and grind as many as we can of these before the 10th. So we are skipping away from doing the deep desert PvE dungeons to grind those to get the Solari through selling the resources that we get from that being the thermal coolers and the delirium the spice delirium ingots. And we're now going to be doing these Cutterays, and that's purely because we can go back to doing all that stuff to make even more money. We are actually doing quite well on the money front, actually, to be fair. We're up to 5.1 million, and that includes like little spends I've made along the way for things I've wanted. So money wise, we're doing actually really well from the Cutterays and stuff. So yeah, the plan now is let's get as many of these Cutteray blueprints as we can while it's easy to get them, because apparently these are really good and sought after. They go really well on the market now, but down the line they'll go down on the market even better, because these things are super rare and everyone wants them, and they're easy to get at the moment. I've got to stress easy. Wow, I'm not sure about how easy, but they're easier to get at the moment. And yeah, effectively you'll be crazy if you don't kind of mine them now, or at least grind them now. So that's effectively what we're going to be doing tonight. I have already done a few trips as well for the move, like the weekly move that we have to move all our stuff out of the deep desert. I've already started moving that, hence why I'm slightly late, because I was just in the middle of dropping things back into a chest. I've got the assault ornithopter on the very top level. One of my scouts is still out in the deep desert, but we still have one here. So rather than doing anything other, because you guys don't want to see me having to do a move, we did that last week, so I gave you a flavour of what it's like. This week we're just gonna do the grind for these Cutterays, and you'll get used to what we've got. So I've obviously got my spare ornithopter. This is mainly for when we get attacked in the deep desert and we lose our ornithopter, or a scout ornithopter. We've got a spare one automatically, so we don't have to worry about having to grind one straight away. But obviously if we do lose one, then I probably will put one in production. I do actually have all the materials to make like plenty more of these things. There's no point, like you need one and one spare and put another one in production as and when you need it. I also have loads of aluminium cooking out in the deep desert as well. That's going to take 2 hours for that stuff to go. I'm probably going to actually take the assault ornithopter back out to the deep desert with more aluminium and put that into production, because what I'm essentially trying to do is use up all the water that we've got out there, because I don't really want to waste it. And there's no the easiest effective way I could think of was to make a ton of aluminium because I always seem to need it, the delirium and some of the other aluminium stuff. So yeah, let's just use up all the water to make the aluminium, which was the idea. So I don't think I've used this in like since I've actually only used this once. The only time I've ever used it was literally just to go and rescue my other ornithopter that I managed to kill myself in when I was doing the radiation run. Well, I call it the radiation run, but I was doing my delirium kind of jasmine crystal run, and spent a little bit too long out there and died, and panicked, and then spent the next 2.5 hours going out in my buggy and all sorts to go. Well, I wasn't even a buggy back then. I went out in my bike to literally go and get aluminium, or the remaining parts of the aluminium, because I'd actually luckily had most of the materials, but I didn't have quite enough. But one thing I didn't have is, while I had all the raw materials, I had none of it in production, so I had to literally wait for aluminium to cook, and that took a while. So I went out, got all the other materials I needed, and by the time I did all that, about 2.5, 3 hours later, I had all the materials to cook this ornithopter, and oh, we've had our first crash. Awesome. Let's hope I don't die. You know what, it hasn't crashed. Like, it hasn't crashed. Well, actually, it crashed once yesterday, but gotta love this game. We restart the game. I don't actually know what this game does. Like, if it crashes, does it sense the game, or it's very much an unknown. And one thing I hate about this game is every single time it loads the game, it always starts this game on the wrong screen. There's no way of setting it to a particular screen, but it always wants to start on the main screen. I always play this on a secondary monitor, so I always end up having to manually change everything. The pain I have to go through every time just to so I can start the game properly. Yeah, let's see where we are. See if we're still alive. The werewolf's eating us. The last time this happened, I actually found I was landed outside my ornithopter. I'm hoping something similar happened this time, and there isn't a worm there. And last time again we were over sand. Oh, this isn't too bad. Oh, this is alright. We were just outside danger area. Literally. Damn game. That's one thing I hate about Funcom games. They're the only games producer that I know where their games almost guaranteed crash. Like, I don't know any other game that's as bad as their games. I'm not going to get back up there fast enough, so we'll just have to go round. But yeah, Funcom games are far from fun when it comes to crashes, but they are fucking reliable at it. there's not one thing I can guarantee is... Actually, one other thing I do think that, you know, I do think Funcom should have some credit for is their games have extremely good graphics and immersivity into the game. Maybe that's why they crash so much. Just to make you feel even more involved. Or crash the game every so often. I have no idea, but one thing I do know is it's really freaking annoying when you're trying to play a game and it will randomly crash. Oh, actually, tell a lie as well. I said it didn't crash over the weekend, but it did actually crash. It actually caused a blue screen of death on my computer, which is the first time it's the first time it's happened since I've actually built the new build of the computer. But it's also where we go. So the first place we're going to is a testing station, which I think is actually up here. Oh yeah, it's that one. Testing station 60 is where we need to go to first. Yeah, so the first time I've had a blue screen of death caused by this game, playing it, and it literally blue screened to death on my computer, which, yeah, that just shows you how bad Funcom games are with stability. Because I can't even remember the last time a game blue screened to death one of my computers. But the last time I do remember it being a common issue was with the Funcom game, Age of Conan, funny enough. That's just down there. Oh yeah, that. Here's the hole. Can we get it in? I would dive bomb it, but I don't trust myself to get it in. And we actually kind of need to keep the ship out as well, because if we can't get the ship back out if we put it in, so we just have to put it underneath here so that it's protected from the elements essentially. If you're wondering why I've put it here and why I've even put the ship down, because I used to see ships always come down. I used to just like capture it and just climb up. But then I was like, you know what, I should put the helicopter down. But then I watched someone else doing it and they actually put it under here, and I found out why. It's basically because even if it's out there, they'll still get, if the storm goes past, you'll still take storm damage. Underneath here you don't. So first thing we do in this one is we just need to go and get the wristband, which isn't too far down here. And the enemies in here are pretty easy to be fair. Well, easy for the armour and weapons that we've got. Like, pretty much one shots. The only thing I might get is I might get the chest just for the money. I'm not interested in like those other blue things that I get in tons of, and I wish. Actually, I found out there is a vendor that actually you can sell them to, but you still don't get that much from them, so I really can't see the point. It's like if you've got them, I've found somewhere you can sell them, but I'm not going to pick them up unless I really have to. It's like that guy just ignored us. Actually running away from us. Love it. I think we can get some spice melange from one of these as well. Just down here. Just like NPCs cheating. Didn't have to break through the fence. Now you come back. You look at it. So, when we do finally get down here, like, you can pretty much do this I've seen just running through it, but I'd rather just like, so I don't get swarmed by stuff. I seen the 90. Just couldn't see where he went. Well, I know you're not going to run back down here. Where are you coming? Through this way. I don't know why they seem to like running this way. Everyone else goes down the other stairs. Anyway, let's find a wristband. Now we've got the wristband, there's no need to run back to the rest because that's just like pointless. It's like, there are chests there, but we're not really interested in any of those chests. One thing I am interested in though is the melange. In this room. Yeah, it's over there. Those two things over there, I think. In one of these rooms you can get some spice melange. It's worth doing the lecture. Maybe it's not this one, maybe it's further back. Maybe I missed it, went past it. Once you've got that, yeah, the only one thing you want to get is, I think it's the first room we went to, like, so we've got, effectively we are going back on ourselves, but in one of these rooms you can, am I going round in circles? I feel like I'm going round in circles. I'll grab that. I think we came that way, so back this way. We're essentially going back to the middle. So once you've grabbed the wristband from down the bottom, you come back to here.
Greetings, and welcome to Imperial Desert Testing Station number 6.
Now we go round. So that just saves us time having to go all the way through the actual dungeon, because we don't need to go through the whole dungeon. Effectively, all we want to do is go through this pedestal here, because this is kind of like a shortcut back to where we need to go. This is also where we can get the spice melange from those two things there that are active. I think you can get between 120 to 160 melange spice sand from this. So we've got 107, just to prove me wrong. But that's what I was told. I was told between 120 and 160. We got 107. Hey, it's better than nothing. And it's no risk. Well, pretty much no risk. So we'll carry on through here. Essentially, we're trying to get to the main chest room for this area, and this is the fastest way. But like, you can run through this, but I've never been one to completely run through things, just because in the past I've been overswarmed, and I learned along the easy way is actually just to spend a little bit of extra time just figuring things out. burn through shield. Like I have got like a sniper rifle, so it should burn through quite fast, but still it's the shield up. It's a bit faster for sword. White one again. And again. Look at this as a no area. My aim today is not the best. Okay. Once we've done that, so I think, if I remember rightly, it's left, but I might be wrong. No, that's not the main chest. We'll ignore that. I'm not really interested in anything other than the main chest, so we'll just go right, continue all the way down here. We'll eventually get to a room where it has the boss knight in it. This is like one of the reasons why I don't just go dash into rooms. Like while these don't hurt individually very hard much, they will when there's a lot and start burning through the shield as well. Okay, reached sleeps. That's the flamethrower probably on the right. Oh, you died just as I fucking caught you. Caught you. Where's the rest? Are they all dead? There's like 100 of them. I swear there was like 5 or 6 of them then. Anyway. Like I said, you can run through this, but I choose not to. Really, anyway. Mainly so I don't have like a ton of these chasing me. Because these are the most annoying ones. Okay, so this is the main room to the room where we need to go. As you can see, once you get in here as well, you are locked in here, so you have to make sure you kill all these things. It is actually relatively easy, as you'll see now. There isn't actually that many enemies here. Also a knifey. There's always a knifey. There's only 3 of them, if I remember rightly. Where's that knifey? I've seen him a minute ago. So these ones you have to take out. You've got 0 choice on these ones. But once you take them out, you get the green thing, access granted. And that opens up the room, and that takes us then into the loot room, which is just up here. we go. Here's our loot room. And we didn't get one. We got some wings. Just what I wanted. We also need to get the wristbands to let ourselves back out. But this will let us out back into the main room where the ornithopter is. And then we can go. And then it's off to the next one. The next one's actually really easy to get to. Like, this is one of the longer ones. That's one of, I think, 4 places we need to go to. The next one is just not far from here. It's all in this area-ish. So effectively what they're doing is, this is actually, apparently it's kind of unintended by the developers that this Cutteray is supposed to drop here, because it's not actually meant to. It's actually meant to drop in the radiators area in the downed ships there. I think it's kind of like the main one that's in the middle and the one on the outside. It's supposed to drop in those 2. However, it's definitely not supposed to drop here, and that's the change they're making. But also, because that they are PvP areas, those chests only spawn for 1 person every 40 minutes. So if someone goes to open a chest, the actual blueprint will only like spawn once every 40 minutes. So if someone opens that and someone else goes to it, they won't see a blueprint. Where in these ones they do, and that's what's going to make it a lot more rarer. Because obviously, firstly, it's in a radiated area, which is obviously harder, which means that you can't just stay in that area and grind it. But also, you're looking at only 1 person being able to loot the actual main chest every 40 minutes to get a blueprint. So that makes things 10 times rarer. Well, I say 10 times, just a lot rarer, effectively. So effectively, when you come to this next one, which on the map, this is where it is. So it's the Stone Step Village. Effectively, what we're doing is we land on the roof, and I've learnt this myself. You can literally skip through having to go for the whole base and literally just come through this part. And what we're going to essentially do is trying to land on this little kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, tarp or whatever it is. And yeah, effectively then jump down to here, because in that room there is the main loot room. There is some like hardish things in there, but with our armor and stuff like that, you shouldn't find it too challenging. So as long as you've got Mark 5 heavy armor and stuff like that, you'll find this room relatively easy. He says, hope they don't die. This guy is very hard, but there's also a poison person in it as well, and a sword and a knifey as well, which we just seen over there. That's the poison person. Altogether, it makes it a bit more challenging. So effectively, if you take the poison person away, like you've just seen the chest that went past there, so if you really wanted to, you could try and just grab it. You notice I tried to take her away from the other 2, just so that I've got enough time to take her down, and then the other 2 will kind of hang back a bit. Well, tends what usually happens. Now I'll take out the poison person, and then we'll take out the other one with a sword. Once we work out where they are, have they gone hiding? They must have walked around for us to try and capture us, but didn't. Be relatively easy with Mark 5 gear. So this is the main loot chest. Oh, there was one thing I forgot to do, but, and we didn't get what we were after. But we have got some money. That's one good thing. I'll take it all. There's the other stuff we can sell. Yeah, I forgot to pick up the ornithopter. I'd recommend picking up your ornithopter because what you can do then is just drop down there and well, that makes it 10 times easier. What we're going to have to do now is we're going to have to get ourselves up, which we can do with like a bit of a float, and if you've got the grappling hook, which I don't currently have because I had to reskill for doing something else, but as long as you've got like plenty of life on your suspender belt, you can just do what I did there and get back up. It's easier though to drop down. Just pick up your ornithopter and then you can just jump down, and then once you get down to the very bottom, which is easier than trying to float up, then you can yeah, just get your ornithopter back out again. That's a useful tip for you. Next place we're going to is testing station. Not 71. I went to 71 yesterday and didn't realise at first I went to the wrong one. Where are we? There is testing station somewhere around it. Let's just land so I don't use tons of fuel while I work out where the next testing station is. Close to here. It is. I'm thinking testing station 16, but it's got to be in the open map because I obviously only did it yesterday. Where are we? Got the camp. Let me just check my info. Oh, it is testing station 71. Oh, right, okay. The reason I did think it was testing station 71 is the testing station 71 is quite easy, like really easy. It's definitely not the fastest. The fastest is the one we've just done. That literally, as you can see, you literally drop down. If you wanted to, you could just run to the chest, try and run back, and literally get out of there, and you could literally just grab it. Like, there is really, probably none of them are as easy as that one. This next one we're going to here is kind of like the second easiest one, probably. There is another one we'll go to, which is a bit awkward to get to. I think this is that 71? One thing I found yesterday is I ended up going into the wrong testing station, and I hadn't realised until literally, well, I literally had to go through a lot of it, and then I was like, this doesn't look like the same place I'd seen when I was watching another YouTuber, and this looks completely different. Like, are they showing me the right one? And then I realised I was in the wrong bloody place. What do I have? Okay, I'm looking for this. Thinking, where's my zapper? Let's get past these. I'll spend some time taking them out. They won't follow us down here anyway. Oh, I don't think they do. I'll reset if they did. They aren't very hard outside. I think there is a sniper out there, so be a bit careful if you don't have heavy armor. If they catch you, they can hurt a little bit. So this one again, this one actually reminds me of testing station in the deep desert, that is. So if you, when you go to the deep desert and you're doing the testing stations out there, this one is like testing station 2. It's almost a mimic layout. So I always skip past down these. I noticed the wild form down there. I've gone past it. But effectively what I want to do is come down here because I want to get the wristband, which is this is probably the fastest way I think to get to the wristband. I really find that quite annoying. Sometimes they see a straight line, but they'll for some reason go round. Anyway, where do I want? This way, I think. Really? There they are. Here's the wristband we need. And if you want to as well, not a lot of people miss this, but there is actually a room here. I'm not going into it because there's no, like, it's not what I'm after, but there is a loot room in there. So I need to just go back up here again through this that would have been red because our wristband now lets us through it. Take out a couple of enemies in here, which again you can run past these guys. Like, to be fair, you're not going to get swarmed in here, but I've just got a bad habit of making sure I clear it so I don't feel anything unsurprising. The wristband you want is in here. Again, if you've done testing station 2 in the deep desert, you'll recognise this because it's literally the someone else said the wristbands are in a different location, but I'm pretty sure they're in exactly the same location. I've done that thing so many times now that yeah. So the only difference I'd say here is the boss. The boss in here is either like just too easy. But in comparison to the testing station 2 in actually I say testing station 2, it's not. I think it's testing station 5. It's not testing station 3. Gun guy and that poison person so that I can choose to fight. Out of stamina, which is why he's just like literally almost throwing his sword at first. How is that person firing through like I do actually have anti-poison, so it's not too bad. Making this effort way harder. It is normally easier. Now we've got only this guy left, so decides not to use it. I hate it when it does that. This game is like bug. Okay, so once you do that, that's it. Here's your chest here. Again, we haven't got one. Like I did say at the very start, I've run this already, and I just had a feeling like even though these blueprints drop at these locations that we're going to, I think they still drop quite rarely, like very rarely, because they never seem to be on the market, and when they are extremely expensive. Like we're talking millions. So yeah, I think by the fact that I've now run this 9 times shows that yeah, these things are very rare as it is. Can you imagine how much harder they're going to be when they only drop out in the shale area? Like they are going to be super hard to get. So now we've done that, that's that one done. So that's that now down to, so what we've done 3 of them so far, so we've got a 4th one to do. And I think these were set every 40 minutes, so by the time we do this one, we should be able to go back in and start doing the first one again. Our final one is in this area over here. You may or may not have done this area, but effectively again what we're doing is we are skipping past a lot of the main area, so we're trying to just literally get to the final loot room. Again, this is the only one where I will skip killing the enemies. So we'll come to, we'll park on this edge here, come down, and make sure you park your ass right over the edge, because if you don't, in the past I've like tried parking this way, and when you effectively get popped out at the end. So if you don't keep your ornithopter in the edge, you'll literally fall over the edge. Happened to me in the past. I am talking from experience when I say make sure you park it in a way that means that you're not and if you have a grappling hook, you can either grappling hook up or just do what I do and hover up. Obviously I have a full suspender belt, so I can do that. If you don't have a full suspender belt, I recommend getting a full suspender belt because it makes it a lot easier doing things like that. Where the other one's just directional and stuff, so not as good. What do we have this time, please? Oh, I've got like those tops. I got like 3 of them yesterday, and that's the run done. That's literally it. So this one is a bit like the second one actually. I suppose like it's not quite as easy as the second one, but it's certainly fast like the second one. I wouldn't say it's like that much harder if anything. Like if anything, this one is actually a bit easier in the sense like you can literally run through here and have almost a 0 chance, because for some reason the enemies don't run into this area, so they'll stay in that room. So it means you can literally run in and you have like hardly 0 chance. Getting out is a bit more challenging because yeah, as you can see, we're all waiting for you. Other than that, and again they don't come out of that room, so you're fine once you're out of the room. Just a bit careful when you're coming through that room, because they are there and they're primed for you. Is all I'll say. Rinse and repeat. That's literally going to be this week. Is literally going to be doing this. Well, for the stream. away from the stream, I'll be doing other stuff. But for the stream, we're going to be doing this. We'll see just how rare these things are. Like I said, I've not had one yet, and I have done a round of this already. So this is our second round through, and still we've not had a blueprint. So we're hitting 4 different places where it can drop. So we'll see. I think it, like, with the time it takes to do one round, is just about right. The only one downfall is the first one's up a cliff, and it's not quite long enough, far enough away to get that height very easy. That's why I'm using the one thing I don't normally use, fuel, to climb. We'll become experts at this by the end. So will you. Am I coming the right way? It is up here, but oh, I've come like too far over. It's like around the other side of this rock. Yep. I tried dive on it, but like, better start wasn't pressing my button for that to work. So, round 2. Hopefully this time I'm a bit of the way a bit better.
Welcome to Imperial Desert Testing Station.
Let's get down there. It actually might be clear from the last time I did it. Well, it depends if it's like anything like the deep desert. The deep desert doesn't spawn that fast, so normally as long as you've done it relatively soon, you can do a few runs without having to kill the enemies. So that's one advantage if you keep doing it. Depends how fast this respawns. It could also be that someone's just ran through it. Either or. I would imagine at the moment, if you're doing this, there will be a lot of people doing these. If you do this after the patch, you'll probably find a lot less, if anyone, doing it, apart from like the people doing the mission. Oh, I've already come this way. Actually, no, that's right, isn't it? I've got the wristband. Now I just need to go back. Got me?
Greetings, and welcome to Imperial
Seems like
Desert Testing
too fast that I've come back up in and like, where did it begin? I know that's right, because I've got the wristband. I just need to now go through the first pentashield. Run. Well, this isn't a good sign. It might be that we've done this a little bit too early, because they haven't respawned yet. I'm hoping it's just that someone's ahead of us and the actual main loot chest will be still refreshed. We'll soon find out. I've got a feeling we've just come a bit too fast. I'm sure it's about 40 minutes since we last here. Feels like that anyway. I'm also basing off the fact the stream's been going for about 40 minutes ish. Well, almost 50 minutes. Maybe we are just a little bit too fast. We'll soon find out. There's some enemies here. Considering all that part was like empty, and we finally got into a part that still has enemies. Maybe we ran through that last time. You seem more prepared. Yeah, this is still green. That's not good. That means that the chests will be still not lootable. Yep, coming too early. Damn you. I don't think you can wait around either. Like I'm not sure if you have to be out of the area for it to reset. All I know is I've never waited. That's all I do know. To find out whether or not it resets while you're there or not. It kind of half doesn't make sense. So what have we got? Have we got anything that we can sell? Not sure how much that goes for. Insulated fabric. I'd like to sell for about 1,000. That wouldn't be a bad profit. 107,000. It's not what we're used to, but it's money. Let's see if we've got any missions we can go and do while we're waiting. I don't think we have. Like, I think I've done everything now. Actually, the one thing I haven't done is because I was doing the final things to complete these effectively, and each time you do these for your skills, so you need these for your advanced skills and going through all them all and stuff like that. When you get so far through the missions, you have to do things that actually require you to skill them, and obviously I don't skill towards using what they want generally to have, apart from when I was doing the Bene Gesserit one. I already had it because I want full up generative stuff, but with these ones I tend to just take the main skill or main thing that I want from them and the benefit you get from it. But each time obviously I have to reset it. You can only reset it once every 48 hours, which means you have to wait like 2 days before you can reset it. Now, I last reset it, I think, just over 2 days ago. Oh, actually, no, I haven't. Still got a 5-hour cooldown. I can't even do that. I was going to say I could reset it and I could have done the remaining part of the Advanced Sword Master, but I can't because I'm still waiting 5 hours, well, 6 hours pretty much, for it to reset. So we can't even do that one. I think all my other missions are done. Like, I've got no side missions. As you can see, I've literally killed the missions to death. There is this one. That's just like, I think when I ever get to the stage where I'm giving away a Cutteray Mark 6, then don't know. So we've got no missions there. Nothing to do there. We are literally at a point where the only thing we can go and do now to waste time is literally continue to do our move back to the deep desert. I'm sure you guys will love, not. what I'll do is we'll go straight out to the desert from here, because we are relatively close to the water from here, so that's one good thing, I guess. The thing I've also heard as well is this wall here, at the moment you can crash into it and you don't take any damage, but apparently I've heard, and it could be just a rumour, but I've heard you will start taking damage if you hit them, which as you know, I hit the walls all the time and I purposely crash into those things, but yeah, apparently I'll have to stop doing that because you'll start taking damage when you hit into them. And I'm not sure if it's going to be for this patch, but it is definitely something the developers are exploring to do, so yeah, not the best news for me, but hey ho, I'll just have to get better at not hitting them. And more of the deep desert, because the deep desert I'm always hitting the walls because I'm not purposely trying to fly along them, but because I am not too far away from one, generally most of the areas I go to, yeah, I do tend to hit the wall quite a lot out here. And the problem is just like I've seen other gamers, I don't know if it's my like colour settings or there's like a setting in the game, but I just generally can't see the wall unless you're literally right on top of it, and then by the time you're right on top of it, it's kind of pointless. I really do need to look into that. Let me know if you are aware yourself, or whether you have the same issue I do and you can't see the wall until you're literally right on top of it. But I have seen other people and theirs is a lot, you know, they can see it like as much as I can see the rock in front of me there, like where my base is. Like they can see it that far away. And I'm like, how can they see it? Like I can't see it unless I'm literally right on top of it. If I could see it, then I wouldn't bump into it half the time. As you'll notice, the base is still up at the moment. Oh, I didn't realise. I thought I had the assault copter. I just realised the assault copter's back at the main base. Oh well, we can do a small move. Luckily I have this one here as well, because this one doesn't even have anything to carry. I think I've emptied these out now. Yes, they're all empty, which is good. We've got a load of aluminium, which is what we've got in production at the moment. So that's the other copter. I've got aluminium being cooked at the moment because I'm trying to use up as much water as I can. That's probably still about an hour's worth, yeah. So it takes, in like a medium one, it takes about an hour per 100 or thereabouts. When you get the larger one, you get better efficiency, but it also does it a lot faster. Well, significantly faster. I wouldn't say huge amount faster, but faster than that one. I think the idea is what I'm going to do is try and use up all the water. So I'm going to, when I get the other assault copter in a bit, just before we come back here with it, we'll pick up loads more aluminium, the raw version of it, bring it back out here and start cooking it, and then we'll start taking down parts of the base. We'll just do one run and bring out the assault copter out here, get the aluminium, bring that out here, and then we'll do the other run through. So we'll do 2 runs whilst the stream's running, which we should be able to do in the next hour, hopefully. So what do I need to take? I think I can take these down now, or at least take a couple of them down. Yeah, so each of these take 100, and we've got less than 200,000, so I should probably take 2 of these out and still have enough to hold the water. What we need to do is switch this round. Already got too much more. That's because I've got like loads of crap on myself. spice sand? Oh yeah, we got the spice sand from there, didn't we? Thinking, where the hell do we get spice sand? We only in the deep desert, but I forgot we just got it from the place we were in. It is kind of good that thing actually. So if you're doing this over the next week or two, because you've got until the 12th of August, which is when the patch is meant to. Like it's not confirmed 100% yet, but from what I've heard, it's the most likely date that it's going to happen. What space we got in there? Okay. So I can't take them down. We can take these down because these aren't needed. And ideally, what I would have loved to be able to do, and the one thing I was hoping to bring out that patch sooner, was the fact that in the next version of the blueprint scanner for this place, it will scan all of your utilities as well, so you don't have to kind of like remember and replace everything back in the right places if you've got what you think is your ideal kind of setup. Where in the current setup, it only scans the building, it doesn't scan all these utilities, so that you have to like put all of these things back. And I don't mind like these things, but all these lights that I've got here and the lights down there, and it's all these little things that, like, I didn't even put the lights in until the weekend because I totally forgot, and I was like, oh yeah, the lights are missing. But it does make a difference. It looks way better without it. Just enough to pick that up. Alright. I was going to take... Can't take too much because you want to cop this full. I shouldn't need this, so that can go now. Let's open this. Open that. And that. Oh, and that's just about enough. You can see that's where the big spice thing will go when we do have enough spice melange. But well, once I can buy it, because at the moment it's not on the market, but when it does go back on the market, then we'll buy the spice melange because we have plenty of money to do that. Oh, we have enough money if it goes back down to 9,000 per unit, which it has been at consistently in the past. But not necessarily it will do after the patch, because yeah, they're gonna change the aggro on the worms, so that could mean that they don't kind of decide to, like, well, people, if effectively they change the aggro that much and it becomes a lot harder to mine out in the deep desert because they're changing the aggro, then I could see the price of things that are from the deep desert costing a lot more, and one of those things I think will be the spice sand. But we'll see. Like, I'm only guessing at the moment. Until we actually see it, we're not actually going to know. But on normal game like economies, where they make these kind of changes towards like certain ways to kind of like balance the game, it's normally where you see price deviation changes. And I've got a feeling spice melange after the patch might go up in cost. I don't mind that as long as like the price of everything else also starts to go up a little bit, because as long as that happens, then we should be okay. But yeah, I'm hoping that like within the next 10 days I'll be able to get the spice melange before that happens, so that I can mitigate against that, but we'll see. So we'll just empty ourselves of this stuff, and then we'll take the assault ornithopter. Go to the deathbeds. In there. So this is the chest I've got so far full with all the stuff in the deep desert. All the stuff we take from there will be taken back. That'll be the deep desert stuff going. That can go out. Like, I've realised that we have got some mission stuff in this as well, but I kind of know what I want to take out there and again anyway. Like these things, but bin them pretty much. I won't bin them, I'll like grab onto them, and then when I next go to Harko run and I've come from here, I'll take them out. Oh, ornithopter. Oh no, not that one. Scout. These come from where we were, so these can stay. Like, let me drop them in there so that I can take them back. They'll go in a chest that stays here. Or should I take? Actually, you know what? We will take them out there because I'm making most things out in the desert these days, and these are used in some of the high tier stuff, so we will take them with us. Why not? If you're wondering why I haven't put the spice melange in there, it's because I've actually got spice melange in this one. Just doesn't make sense to keep it all together. I've actually got enough now for a run on the large one, because the large one takes, you have to have a minimum of 1,000 units to start off a run for that. So we've got enough now to do one run. I think it's 1,000. Yeah, it's 1,000. Take that back out. Steel's one of the hard. Actually, Steel's like the one thing that's you can't really get in the deep desert very easy. I noticed, at least from my experience. Should pretty much empty myself. All of them. All these. That one, top for anything. Bite. These the. I think this is all scrap. Apart from that. Scrap that. This will just learn. Yeah, I've started learning. Like, I used to try and keep these back to sell them, but like they just don't go for enough. So now I just learn. I make money, too much money doing other things. I don't think you can make that much money from these unless you get a super rare one. And if I got a super rare one, I'd probably want to keep them for myself, if I'm honest. Unless it's like something I just know I'm not going to use. Everything else we can shred. Just say recycle. I call it shredding. Recycle. Could be empty now. Pretty much, apart from spice beer. Some money. Some batteries. One trick I do find is it's really easy to get batteries out in a deep desert. Like they stack them so easy, and when you do, I think it's like station 3 in the first row. Yeah, like you just get batteries so easy out there. So I bought back about 2,000 batteries, and that literally just retops the base energy for the next week without any effort. And I actually mainly got them for the base out where we are, but I just know it's so easy to get the batteries. You can do a purpose run out there and get more batteries than that base needs, and then carry on doing it throughout the week, and you get so many batteries you can bring them back and then top up your base. We don't want to come actually to that, do we? We want to go and get the assault copter. Go and get some aluminium, put the rest of the aluminium in, and then we will do one final run on a Cutteray, and hopefully this time we might get one. So I do my aluminium by mining these top, you know, whatever you want to call them, columns. There probably is a real name for them and I just don't know what it is. Like, I'm a big Dune fan, but I must admit I'm not, like, I used to think I knew quite a bit about Dune, but I've learned by this game I really didn't know that much. Because when it comes to like some of the names in it, I'm just like, oh right. No idea. So yeah, these columns probably do have a real name, but I'm just going to call them columns. But on the top of these columns, it's essentially got loads of aluminium on top of most of them. So it's the place I used to come to aluminium because it's not far from where I am. The only thing I will say is make sure you don't fall off the edge of them, because I've done that once and then spent a long time trying to get back up before I realised, oh yeah, let's just die and go back to base. Then I could just go and get another ornithopter. The only problem was is when I went and did that, I did exactly the same things I did the first time and fell off the edge before I'd picked up the other ornithopter. So luckily I had 3 ornithopters, because the last one I made sure I literally packed the other ornithopter before I even did anything else, and parked in the most safest place ever. That meant I was not going to fall off the edge. Didn't take too long-ish. Takes probably about 15 minutes-ish for a run like this. Which isn't too bad. Fills up the ornithopter. What have we done? I think we did everything. Let's see what we did. Actually this one where I had that lovely trip of falling off the edge and then spend ages trying to get back up. The thing is even with my climbing skills and stuff, or that I had at least, I don't really put the climbing skill on anymore, but at the time I did have the climbing skill as well. And still, even with like that and oh yeah, my belt died as well, so I didn't have floating, so I couldn't float up. I literally was relying on trying to use a grappler, but trying to use a grappler and not having the suspender belt is almost like helpful but not helpful. Because the suspender belt is the real magic. The grappling hook just can help you get momentum if you want really fast momentum. I think that's all of the ones that's up here. Now we go to the side, and this is the more risky part. I've got a trick for this now. Let's park it into the wall. I used to always be scared of like putting the wings into things, but now I'm just like, it doesn't cause any more damage than they get like in the wing. And just literally just normally fly it. So you want to be like where we are now. See like where I popped out of here? If you park obviously on the edge and stuff like that, this is how you park and pop out and over the edge, which is what happened to me on that fateful day. Careful to glitch over the edge. It won't be too bad today, he says. What's my... Yeah, suspender belt's got plenty of life in it. He says. Plenty of life out of the life it has, which isn't much, but it's not bad. If I use second-hand ones, like if I actually made them, and the reason why they make them is because like you do require a lot of material to make them from scratch. And if I can get them half alive, which is what I tend to get by running the desert missions, then it just seems kind of more productive to use those ones. Because they don't cost anything apart from like a repair, and the repairs on like don't use up too much resources. Especially a lot less special resources that you need if you were making them yourself from fresh. Like if I had loads of resource, and if I wasn't like a solo player, it probably wouldn't be so bad. But like every resource as a solo player is a scarce resource. So if you can kind of cut corners with stuff, you kind of find yourself doing that. And I do that with when it comes to like some of the gear. Some of the gear I will just try and get away with using second-hand stuff, like not the armor or the weapons, but definitely the Cutteray, the shield, anything like that you seem to burn through very easily. Like I would do the Cutterays, but unfortunately they don't drop. At least that I've seen anyway. They did? Probably would. Oh, actually, sneaking down. We should be close to full. Yes. There is some shells below this, or below where we just were, but like they are really tricky, those ones, and they're not, you can't get all of them off just landing on one area, so yeah, it's just more painful. It's easier just to go over to this one. I generally do this, this exact one now of what you're doing, and it pretty much fills this assault helicopter. This should be the last rock we need to do. I also found out today as well that the booster does actually use fuel when you're using it, which I was under the impression previously that it didn't, but for once I actually noticed the fuel gauge go down when I used it, and I was like, oh, so it does use it. 'Cause in the past, yeah, in the past when I've done it, I've never been able to notice that it goes down when you're using the booster, but today I did notice it. And I was like, oh, so it is using the fuel. Array's looking orange. Like the last peel I did on it, or fix on it, is the last fix I'm going to do, because it's just, now it's getting to the point where it's just not efficient to fix it anymore. But the reason why I have done it for as long as I have done it is because these are pretty, like even the Mark 5 are pretty expensive to make. And the next one I do want to do is Mark 6, so I was trying to make this last as long as possible. So that I could wait, but now that we're going to get, hopefully, the blueprints for this super duper Cutteray, we will make a Mark 6. Actually, we'll make a Mark 5 and not make the Mark 6, because this Mark 6 or this special Cutteray that we're actually doing a stream for today, essentially it will allow us to essentially get the same sort of stats for mining all our stuff, but it only uses Mark 5 resources. So in other words, we don't need any of the like spice melange, we don't need any of the plastidium, so it's actually really good in that sense. It means that effectively we can have far better gathering, but at kind of lesser cost. There's a gap over there. You can tell I've not gone out to the desert much from here. Last time I did it, I actually didn't exactly go all the way across the map, but I did go to an area where I knew you could get across. Now I know it uses fuel consumption. I'll stop as soon as I get to that. I used to go through it and think, yeah, it's fine, you don't use any fuel, you're doing the boost. However, now I find you do. Oh, and that's a storm moving in. Awesome! Quick! Hurry up, hurry up! Get to the edge. Last thing I want to do is fly in for a storm. I didn't even hear it give a like storm warning. I should only have to do 2 more runs to bring all the stuff back now. One of those runs will be to bring the aluminium back, because the aluminium, even in its refined state, is pretty heavy. It's a lot lighter than it is right now. It's a complete raw state, but it's still not the lightest either. So I'll probably gather the aluminium in here, take down the rest of the utilities. That'll probably fill up the ornithopter. If it doesn't, it'll at least half fill it. Then the base itself is just over a ornithopter's worth full of the resource blocks. So hopefully it means that I should be able to do it in 2 runs. We'll find out, but I've got a feeling that I should be able to do it in 2 runs. I've done 2 runs already for just the stuff that I've already done, and that's way more than I wanted to be able to do, but it is what it is. I'm not at the stage where I've got the large spice refinery yet, or the large mineral refinery. Both those things effectively will make me have to do more runs because they require like a load of materials that I know are heavy. So just to get them out here are probably 2 or 3 runs in the assault copter. That's just how much resources they require to build them, and how much that stuff weighs. This shit, we'll put this into production. This should take 2 hours on top of what we've got here. So we currently have 21 minutes left. Oh, used up all the water, which is what I was after. And just under 2 hours. I don't think we've used up all the aluminium though, because, well, we might have done, but I've got a feeling we've still got some raw aluminium there. I'm actually surprised we did use up all the water, because I was expecting to still have a little bit of water there. That's fine. What I'm after. This. Yeah, 307, so we'll put that back in the assault copter. And I'll save you from all the other stuff. We'll go and do the rest of the mission. We'll go and do that other mission run. When I come back later, after the stream's ended, I will effectively start packing up the rest of the stuff. And a little bit later, once that other aluminium's finished, I'll pack all that stuff down and then we'll completely flat pack the base. But one thing I do need to do before I flat pack the base is I need to rescan it, because there are quite a few modifications I've made to this. So the current base layout I've got at the moment, shell, is version 3. Version 2 is kind of like what you've seen at the very start of the week, and that has quite a few improvements as well, but version 3 has even better improvements, which include the 2 air captures, water captures, should I say, from the air, that produce our water while we're out in the deep desert, and some other kind of like improvements in and around that as well. The lights as well, I've made some improvements with the lights, so I only did the lights on the first floor or ground floor, whatever you want to call it, the very bottom floor. I only put those lights in last week. I didn't put the lights in at the top, and I found the Harkonnen lights, the lined ones. They are really cool. And look cool during the day, but also really good at night as well. I think we want to come in here actually. I'm trying to think where's the best place to start. I think it's at the very top. That should spawn us not far from where our first place is. Oh, maybe it's, oh, it must be the next one across. So if you're doing this and you're coming in from the outside, it's not the very top one, it's the one next to the very top one on the left. Hopefully for tomorrow's stream, I should be able to get the base back up. Although the stream does start at 7 tomorrow, so I might not quite get it all up in time. I might get the base up, just not everything down by the time the stream starts. But we'll be back here, and we'll probably do something similar to what we've done today. We'll do things in between. So, because obviously we can get through these quite fast and they don't respawn fast enough, we will do what we can, and then we'll go to the deep desert, finish the rest of the base stuff off, and then come back out here for the second one after. I suppose if you're doing this yourself and you're not building a base or reconstructing a base, you can probably do the testing stations in the desert, although to be fair that takes about an hour.
Greetings, and welcome to Imperial Desert Testing Station.
That would be more than you need. Well, that's a good sign. At least there's a... As you can see, this is I'm actually going to try and do what I've said you can do, and that's do the run through. Oh. That's the only thing, if you go the wrong way, I'm potentially going to be running into tons of people. Set everything off. So make sure you have plenty of
Greetings.
plenty of armor and stuff.
Welcome to Imperial Desert Testing Station number 60. This station is dedicated to aeronautics.
Like, easy power move on me. The thing is, when you run through as well, you actually do reset the enemies once they go so far from their original spawn points. So yeah, you can see that saves tons of time doing that because we haven't cleared everything out. This part I do want to clear out, especially this part because we want to get some spice on, or some of the spice on. These are reset as well because you can see them spinning. The way so they're more closer together. I always like to land at least one shot on him because he might die from the poison. Some ways, like if you wanted to, you could just do it for this. If you wanted, like, I wouldn't personally because yeah, you just don't get enough spice on for the amount of time you have to wait in between respawns and stuff. But it's only worth an extra perk, at least at the moment, while you're doing it for the Cutterays. There's usually an enemy there. This time there isn't. Oh, like close. I've got hands in one there as well. You move just as I shoot. Don't put your shield on. Just make it longer. You're gonna die anyway. It's not in that room. I remember that from last time. one, there's like 3 of them. Like, there's definitely only maybe 2 last time, but I'm pretty sure there's only like 1 last time. Enough. Oh no. Like what? Like look, I've just cut another one and there's still another one. How many of these damn things do you want to spawn? Flames getting in the way is the most annoying thing. You can't actually see where they are. I do remember there being a lot more people with guns last time. So it looks like they randomly spawned different NPCs here. Because last time there was like about 4 people with guns. There was only 1 flamethrower and maybe 1 knife. This time there was like 3 flamethrowers, one person with a gun. Another person sneaking around here, seeing Cutteray. Oh, there they are. The first time we ran through it, the second time we did. I think we ran through it because they didn't follow us last time we ran through it. I don't think they can come in here. He says. If they all come through it now, I'll eat my words, but I didn't last time. Go through. Fingers crossed, guys. Fingers crossed. See what we get. Wings again. We get wings last time we came into this one. Maybe they change it on a daily basis. On this day, you'll get wings. No luck this time. Let's move on to the next one. These are all in the thing. This time I'll try and remember to pick up the unfucker. I guess just on that corner. Sort of. Around that corner and a bit further down. I knew it was doing that. Just a bit too low. Sometimes you can skim over it, as long as it doesn't go quite low enough, it won't put the legs down. As soon as it puts the legs down, that's it. All momentum's lost. pick it up. I'll show you what I mean. So pick it up this time, so this we don't have to come back up. And you can just drop down then. It's a lot easier to drop down than it is up. I also like dropping on that tar pin is something I did when I first found this place, and I just flukily found that you could do that. And then I watched someone do it to obviously get these chests, and I was like, oh yeah, I know that place. I remember doing that for the first time. I discovered that by kind of fleet, you know, not fleet, but ooh, we can probably get this without having to take anything out. And I don't think we got the thing. We got a pipe cleaner. What the hell's a pipe cleaner? Oh, gun. I think I've actually got that gun as well. It's funny enough. Is that not 10 times easier than having to jump up? Literally go in, drop down into one place, get your stuff, come out, drop back down all the way through that gap, and you're out, and you just get your helicopter back out. If that's not a good way of doing that one, I don't know what is. On to the next. Testing station 71. Which is somewhere over there. Get the map up in a second. Let's maybe glide. Or over there. Just away from where we were. When I did it yesterday, that was the testing station I thought I needed to go to, because I'd just seen it on the way and realised I'd gone completely to the wrong one. And it was only when I'd got so far through it that I actually realised I was like, yeah, this is definitely not the same place that guy went to. I aggro them straight away. I suppose you could land if you wanted to, like, right in it, but I don't know. I like landing outside it and then just running in. So, place number 3. Hopefully this one might be better than another. Actually no, is this... Oh yeah, it's free. God, wow. The second one just goes so fast. Can't even remember what I won. We are tested. We are the third one out of the 4. So we'll go down what I think is the fastest way. I know I'm doing this differently to how the other guy does it, but I'm doing it based on the fact that I do these runs very efficiently in the deep desert, and I found that this is the fastest way of doing it. Doing that one. There's the wristband. I've got a feeling someone's already done this one, because it seems like there's no enemies around where I'd expect them to see. Like, there should have been some enemies in this room, but there wasn't. If this is empty, then we definitely know. Yeah, someone's been in here. Someone could be doing this one as well. Hopefully there is. Like, not just make it easier for us, but it just shows like more players are aware of like what's going on, and you know, seeing the importance of doing these grinds. This room. Expect this to be empty, considering the others have been empty. Fingers crossed. Leggings. God. Start to think they don't exist. These blueprints. They must drop like so rarely. Like I'm literally going to be running these even when I'm not streaming, unless I'm doing something else. So I've already proved or disproved that these do drop here. If I come the right way, yeah. Yeah. It's just, I don't know. I seem to have done a lot of these so far, and I've not even seen one. Apparently you can get these cut in a race as well. Sometimes they do drop as well in the deep desert when you're doing gem runs. So you can go hunt treasure in the deep desert, and if you use the scanner you can find places where you essentially get treasure and you get these gem things. Apparently they do drop, but this is extremely rare. They can drop in that, and you can also get them sometimes from these small hatch in the down ships. So the ships that die in, or drop into the desert, when you go up through those, sometimes you can get them from there apparently. Unverified those ones though, they come from the community, so not from other YouTubers. So I wouldn't say they're unproven or untrustworthy, but less proven because you know, if you see it live on a stream, you know it's possible where if someone just says it happens, you have to take their word for it. So they could either be telling the truth or maybe telling a bit of a porcupine. On to the fourth one, which isn't too far away. A bit more awkward to get to. It's just over there. So yeah, when you come out of here, you literally just like turn back around. You'll literally see the next one, and we're heading for that. Sort of like, if you can see the dot, you can just about see the dot. Yeah, we're heading for those lights, and that gap in the wall there is where we're going to go through. We'll park our ornithopter like we did last time. Against the wall. And run through here.
Identify yourself. Shield on.
Guess I do end up having to climb. Probably have some stamina. Okay. Is it going to be lucky? Is it not going to be lucky? I hope it is lucky. I'm feeling it. Oh, another. I'm going to recheck the video after the stream's finished, but I swear the same thing seems to drop from the same places. Maybe it cycles every day. If it does, and you know it drops on that day, you need to hammer it to death. But these do not feel random. They feel like they've spawned different things, yeah, but in each of the places that we've been to, I'm pretty sure the same things dropped the second time round. There is also a chest over here. If you're looking for some of the rare resources that you can get from this area, you can also get a few more from over here. If you're over here, like I should pick up those insulating things really. Might have seen us.
I need reinforcements.
Literally on the wall. And that is it, guys. And we have I've literally done all of that, and we have finished the stream literally with a minute to go. We've just literally done 2 runs, finished 2 runs after having to wait for it to respawn those areas. So I'm going to land here and say farewell for today. We've done our grind, which was only 2, but we have to wait for the reset, unfortunately. And as you've seen, when we tried to do it straight away, even after going through the whole run, it's not enough time. So you need to kind of go away and do something else, and then come back a little bit later, like we did, and then do that run again, and you should be able to do the same cycled run. As you can see, this second run that we did it way faster than we did the first one, because the first one I was taking my time and taking out some of the enemies as we're going through, but this time you've seen pretty much me most of the time running straight through, either because, well, I've shown that you can literally just run through, grab the stuff and run through even with the enemies there, but even when they weren't there, again, we were just like blitzing through that. So I don't know, what did that take us? About 20 minutes, if that. That's how fast it is, and then you need to go away, do whatever you need to do, probably for another 20 minutes at least, and then come back and do the same run and cycle. I will either prove this week whether or not these do keep dropping the same thing on the same day, because I will continue to do this. I'll review the video after this stream as well, just to see whether or not the same things did drop, or whether it did alter it all. And then tomorrow I'll report back and tell you whether or not they do drop the same things on the same day, because that means you can just do then one run and tell whether or not they drop. And then if they do drop on that particular day, if it is just cycled based on the day, then you know when you do get them and they do start dropping, then you need to keep hammering it that day and just pretty much go back to that same place where it keeps dropping. I would probably go through them all though, because if they do all stay the same on that day, and you find 2 or 3 of them drop all that same Cutteray, then essentially, yeah, you can just keep hitting those ones where it keeps dropping on that day. Anyway, thank you very much for today. If you do like the content, do consider subscribing, and you'll be notified obviously when we next go live, which tomorrow will be at 7 o'clock. Thank you very much, and have a lovely evening.